for these top 1, 2, 3 spots, Trav. It's been really exciting there, but you take a look at the other teams. I mean, Reply and Fu, everybody else, this is not a sleepy scene whatsoever.
It's really not. There's so many good teams in this top 8, but I mean, we have to mention, yeah, again, FUT Esports making it, they're not making another monthly final. That's going to be so difficult for them to catch up. Nearly impossible at this point, as you know, the majority of the rest of the teams above them, Calypso, Reply, Totem, Oceana, Zeta, Humble, SK, all here today, ready to get more points on the board, and they're already above them as well. So it has been a really, really tough month and year for them. But yeah, the top SK Gaming, Humble, Zeta division, those 3 teams have been the real top teams in this region this year.
Well, as far as this month is concerned, we've got a number of fun matchups right up in the early stages, I think. We've got some things going crazy with Zeta versus SK. Like I said, those number 1, number 2, and number 3 positions are really, really hot and testy. And so Zeta and SK, whoever wins here, this quarterfinal might be the most important match of the evening. Outside of Grand Finals, different story. So that one's definitely going to be where I'm looking at. Of course, Humble versus Oceanus is going to be important, and then we've got the top side, Jordan and Eclipsar, but then Arc, Reply Totem versus Ladder Skill. I'm also looking there because Reply Totem is a squad that I think has been very, very exciting to watch and sort of left out of these conversations sometimes.
Certainly so, always exiting so far in the quarterfinal stages, but this could be the month which they make the semis. And I mean, they're up against Ladder Skill, who are, you know, appearing in their first ever monthly final in the BSC. So I think that the odds are stacked heavily for Reply Totem in that sense. I mean, just further what Trav was saying earlier with the leaderboards, BC Gaming not making an appearance this month either. That's going to ricochet throughout the leaderboard also. But Zeta Division, SK Gaming, I cannot wait for this. What a banger to start the day. SK, of course, winning the monthly finals of March, and then Zeta coming back full force last month to get that grand finals win under their belt. It's going to be an absolutely match for the ages.
Yeah, this is fun. It's not a grand finals rematch, but we're getting one victor, another victor, and they're smashing together in the quarterfinals. This is a little nuts, if you ask me, in all honesty. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure that you guys let us know who you think is going to win via predictions at event.brawlstars.com. There's a lot of fun stuff as far as your predictions are concerned. Free stuff to grab, and of course, access to our sister stream, the B-side, as well. Want to hit all the Brawl action, because again, reminder, we're going to be showing you 2 of our quarterfinals. The other 2 can be found on the B stream with our other commentators. So definitely want to catch all the action before we dive into our semifinals. So I ask you guys for predictions. It's only right if we're going to play show and tell for you to show us ours as well. And well, for once we almost agree on things. Trav, you're going Zeta in quarterfinals, in this quarterfinal 2 here.
I think actually me and Ark are flipped. I'm just going to ask you to confirm that, because I think I said SK and you said Zeta. So I think we're a little bit flipped there. But I did go for SK, and to be honest, I think I was being a bit rogue about that one. I was speaking to F just before, and I was like, oh, you're going SK as well? I thought I was going a bit rogue, to be honest, because I do feel like Zeta should win after last month's performance.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, they just won last month, and they just seem to be really, really strong, back to their old ways, being the world champions of 2023. But I just had a feeling, and you know, I like to say a little bit of a tingle down my spine about SK today.
You know, I'm gonna let you talk real quick, but I want to jump in here about SK and like show you the method to my madness. I don't think it's a secret that I'm a big Joker fan, but it's not because I like the hair color. So I think this guy's a fantastic leader, and I think when SK Gaming, when you got a strong leader, it's about the bounce back. I think the SK looked at their performance last month, which wasn't terrible either, and they go back to the drawing board. This is a squad that I've got a lot of faith in. So Ark, I want to hear your thoughts on this matchup.
Well, for me, Zeta did so well last month, and I think SK have been faltering just a little bit. It was a much smoother qualifier for Zeta Division, who we're going to start with first. Gero, Meow, and Naui. I mean, going from strength to strength, you can't deny that. And of course, the world champions, the reigning champions of the world currently. I mean, the first monthly final was abysmal for them. They went out in that quarterfinal stage, but last month, they came back and proved everyone wrong, and they are back in town, in my opinion. A clean qualifier as well, beating Eclipse Esports in the quarterfinal, in the upper bracket stages of round 9, 2-0. A clean win for them. And it was smooth sailings. It seems to have been smooth sailings ever since that little hiccup in March.
Well, sailing is certainly where we're hoping Zeta to go, but like I said, I mean, it's not going to be smooth. Rough seas ahead as Joker, Lana, and Yoshi stand in the way for sure. These guys are veterans of the scene. Lane, Yoshi, Joker, Trav, these guys have been around forever. They've been playing forever. They've won some, sure, but I want to highlight the fact that they have lost some and they have still found success. That's the bigger deal for me when we talk about this specific matchup. Talking about how Zeta took it last month, that means something. But I think SK bounced back. That's my headline for the weekend.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I do genuinely feel like Zeta are the favorites coming into this one, but I've just got a feeling about SK Gaming. And you see, that's the thing. When you've got a feeling, SK Gaming do genuinely provide some really big games against the big teams. I feel like maybe SK have a tougher time against the teams who they should be beating in reality and kind of show up on those games that they should be losing. So I don't know. I feel like SK just... There was just a feeling that I had today, and I just had to say SK.
Well, Zeta does have the analyst light talks behind the scenes for sure, but if you're talking about SK, you really have to tag in Pedro as well. He's been the coach on this organization. Important point there. He has had many different teams under this SK Gaming banner, and Pedro has been the one guy that stays the same. And so definitely something we're going to take a look at there for sure. But for now, we're going to take three casters, turn them into two as we jump into a best of 5 here starting at Brawl Ball on center stage. Trav said that Zeta Division is the favorite here, and it looks like 2/3 of the fans agree with that. And, you know, I put my prediction forward for SK Gaming for sure, Ark, but at the end of the day, I can't deny Zeta won last month. That's the top card for sure. They're the team to beat.
It's EMEA. Anything can happen. I think, you know, both sides, whoever you vote for, have got a thorough chance of getting a win here. I can't deny it. I mean, just looking at SK's qualifying stages performances, that's what kind of gave me that little bit of doubt. Losing to FA Jordan in round 8, 0-2, that was the convincing scoreline that for me raised a lot of question marks. You know, SK didn't even reach round 9 to qualify that way. Had to go for the lower bracket, beating Eclipse or Esports. Sandy first pick for Zeta is a dangerous one at that. I mean, the bands being Gale, Charlie, and Amber for Zeta. On the side of SK, the Shelly, the Surge, and the Nita bands. And M's coming in, clearly tank counters is on their minds. And of course, being able to super in and get a lot of visibility in this grass is going to be quite key here. But I mean, for me as well, you know, Melody's not being banned here. That's quite surprising. I mean, that's got to be on the minds. Obviously, tanks are a concern. Melody's not going to play very well into them at all. So now, if Zeta were thinking it, they might be reconsidering it.
That was the first thing I was looking at. Melody has been one of the, just looking at the last broadcast we saw in APAC, Melody was one of the most banned out characters for sure. And then we take a look here. This was you pretty much said exactly where my mind was at. Melody's number 1, but then you lock in the Rosa. This is obviously a very strong map for Rosa. The El Primo, I like to see some of these old school tanks come out. Definitely a map you can get away with tanks with all of the grass coverage for sure. But with a Sandy and then a Primo here, I wonder where we maybe do you find a player that can do you find like an anti-tank character, like an isolation brawler like Horde, or do you go elsewhere?
Wouldn't be a bad shout for me. Yeah, I mean the Shelly band's quite key here for SK in that regard because they clearly all both on the same page as Zeta here, but they do have to have something of a solid hard tank counter. And Otis kind of slipping out of the meta somewhat recently. We are seeing a bit of a rise of Insurge, and hence why the SK, the SK band of Surge isn't the worst of bands to have against tanks. It makes a lot of sense to do so. Definitely a bit out there, but I don't mind it. It's not that crazy, really. Janet, though, is a bit, I'll be honest. Sure, you get the visibility from the bush, and the jetpack has obviously been buffed recently as well with more damage, but I'm not too sure that Janet really has kind of crept back into competitive, but hey, maybe I'm wrong.
You ever smell like old cheese? You know that face you make when you like lift your nose a little? That's exactly what I did when I saw the Janet pick. I'm willing to let him cook, but this is not something that has really showed up on my notes or anything, and for good reason. First, Janet, this would be the first win for Janet if it finds the W here. Lana picking the Poco here. I think this is a little bit more traditional. You got the big thick tank and the zoner out of M's. Poco is going to double as the zoner and the healer as well. So I look at the SK Gaming draft and I find this is a little more traditional, but it's one thing to follow the meta, but winners lead. And so we'll see if this works out for Zeta Division as we jump on in. M's going to be on this right-hand side. Nobody jumping in there just yet. The tanks are going to really make getting into the middle really tough because they'll be able to flank on these sides, and this is a big reason why we see the M selected, because she can just sort of like sweep those bushes like she's doing so far. And Lanav's gonna jump in and get one kill already. Now he's trying to change it, but it won't answer. And so 2 players down here, Arc, might be a scoring opportunity.
A lovely unfriendly vicious gadget there from Lanam. The drop the base for Meow is going to do a lot of work to be able to show up where SK are lurking, but that gadget get nerfed, and that's why Janet dropped off so heavily. They can't really depend upon that. Now Jacko coming through as well, making a lot of space and slowing down their as well. The ball about to be pushed through by Lanam. It should be a really goal here for SK Gaming.
Drop the base. That is, I mean, that's why we saw Janet played in the past. Even with the nerf, that might be why we see her picked here, but it didn't work last time. This time around, Meow goes into the super and is able to find the defensive kill. Very, very important play by Zeta. If Janet doesn't get that kill, it's over and we move on to game 2. So a very important defensive kill on the side of ZD.
I'll bring the pace down somewhat now as Naui then has got hypercharge. Gary there with the hypercharge himself, just keeping everyone visible and low on the side of SK. Push in from Naui on the left-hand side. Great cycling, but a bit short there. Lanana going to stay in position here, now taken care of. It's 2v1, but I think Joker should be in a relatively decent spot here. Now, Sweet Dreams from Garo turns that whole thing into question and places another sandstorm. Beautiful cycling so from Zeta, but they can't secure the goal just yet.
Yeah, the staggered takedowns there really put a damper on Zeta's aggression. But this time, Primo finds the mark, walks it in, and we're tied at 1 early. Half a minute on the clock, Arc. We got to find out if this one ends before OT or if we have a whole different ball game.
Meow now in a much better position, but Lennon has a hypercharge to the heel as well. Push the ball forwards! A massive fumble from SK, because that was going to be a certified goal for me, especially with the support of Yoshi as well. And now they're staying in that bottom right-hand side, but low. Too low to really contest too much. Zeta can just take care of him, get the ball, get things back under control, because the bushes and the boxes are about to go down.
Well, we were talking a lot about how tanks are going to be valuable on this map. Now they're not. Now they just might be a liability. The Zeta Division pushing forward. This is where Sandy earns their paycheck. It looks like SK Gaming still unable to push up. Garo in some trouble dealing with the M's. And it looks like, no, Garo's causing trouble, taking down the M's. And it's Zeta taking down SK for game number 1.
Fantastic response from Zeta. They knew that they could just make it into overtime, that things were going to go heavily in their favor, and that is the result of that. I did worry a little bit they gave possession of the ball to SK a bit too much there, but came out victorious, and some great Primo plays to seal the deal here, but the set still up for grabs here if SK can make a comeback.
Very important. I'm glad that you brought up the Primo play, because we saw at least one play kind of dropped by Primo and then able to kind of find that redemption. I'll forget the previous foible if you bring it home like that. Game number 2, SK Gaming starting with strong positioning, but it's Garo who finds first takedown, and it's going to put Zeta Division in an offensive spot, but the respawns come out. And Lanaz the first one to find a kill as he walks up this left side lane, dealing with Marrow, trying to find a kill. And this one's going to be open here. Yoshi walks it home. 1 zip.
Well, Zeta went so aggressive, kind of left the ball in the middle. I would like to have seen them push it forwards. It may have given them a bit more time there, but nonetheless, defensively, Meow not going to be able to do too much on that Janet pick, and that is the downside of it. Try to go to the air and get some damage, try to whittle things down so the defense was there, but it wasn't going to happen. And now Zeta behind, but they were there in this very position last game, were able to turn things around. Big aggression going in. Yoshi gets the heel off now. The ball pushes to the right-hand side, and SK now should be able to defend this and try and push the ball forwards.
Right side is going to be the angle. Rosa isolated and taken down relatively easy. Respawns will come through. I think they'll be not in time. And Garo's able to tie this one up again. Last time around, we were tied at 30 seconds. This time, double that. So we might not wind up in OT again, Arc. And SK, that's what they want. They do not want to see overtime. And it looks like Naui, well, he's not interested either. Jumping in front of the back line, taking down 1. And Meow from the left side combines for the kill again. All that said, I think the staggered takedowns are going to be a bad situation. And SK is going to be able to find another moment.
This Janet pick is not being that bad into a lot of the players. Anything other than Lanana, Meow's doing work. Sandstorm goes down now as well. The ball's to the top right-hand side, and Zeta can't quite get hold of it just yet. But SK on these back lines going into a potential overtime position is dangerous news for them. The saving grace being Joker having super here, but it's going to be a very tough thing to defend. Lanan's be very exposed here. If now we can get super as well. Now SK's trying to push things forward and trying to get back controls. They do need to achieve this, but Lanan's surely going to pull the left-hand side. 3 versus 2 now. Now he's jumping in, gets the game. Surely here. Quick passing, quick footwork, and that is going to be the set going the way of Zeta.
A nice turnaround from Zeta. And I say turnaround because both of those games we saw SK score first. And so Brawl Ball can be about pace, but I mean, once the ball gets reset at the mid, it's a big reset. And so just because the enemy team gets that first goal doesn't mean you're out of it. And Zeta shows that perfectly, both game 1 and game 2. So strong stuff. I was afraid of OT with the tanks out here, Arc, but they made it work.
I was worried about Janet pick. I think everyone wants to be completely honest, but, you know, Zeta, they often cook when it comes to their, drafting, and I was a bit worried it was going to be a case of becoming cooked as a comp, but it wasn't the case at all. It certainly didn't have the best of times into Lanan, but, you could see how well Meow's work